What's up, guys? So today I thought I would just give you 6 simple tips on how you could get started on trying to reduce your waste or to reduce your carbon footprint, as they say. There are many ways to do it, but I thought these 6 ways are kind of the simplest and the best way to start. Not that you have to try to do all 6 or try to be some beam of perfection. No, just the best way is just choose one, start with one. As it becomes easier, you pick up another one and so on, and before you know it, you'll be doing all of them and much more. So the first one is probably the easiest one, especially nowadays. There's just so many new products, so many new zero waste minimalistic products, which is good, and more products are compostable, biodegradable, so reducing the need for plastic things which last forever. So with that being said, the first one would be to swap out certain products. For example, you could swap your plastic toothbrush and buy a bamboo toothbrush. I did make a video on a couple of easy swaps that you can do with general stuff that you use. Just click the link in the card here on top if you're interested to see what swaps those are. The next one would be to look for more plastic package-free shops. There are quite a few nowadays that are popping up everywhere, which is really cool. So I think just do a search. I'll put a few links below on some of the ones that I know of that are within South Africa, but there are more and more becoming readily available. So I think just do a search in your area and see what you can find. The main concern that people have is that most things can be more expensive, but I think I'm finding nowadays that majority of things are kind of the same price, just without the plastic packaging, which is cool. And most of them you can take your own containers and just refill over and over. So this reduced the needs for any bags, constantly buying plastic bags and things like that. The next one is, it can be a little bit difficult depending where you live. If you can, composting is the way to go. It's just the best thing to do. All your vegetable, fruit scraps, any waste, any food waste, you can just pop into your compost. It breaks down and then you can reuse that compost in your garden, on your plants. And it's so good for the earth, so good for the soil, so good for the plants. But yes, it is a bit difficult if you're, say, living in a flat or an apartment where you don't really have a garden or much space. I would then suggest to look into something called a bokashi bin. It's a neat little bin. It comes in various sizes you can get, and it kind of does the work for you. It breaks everything down. There's no smells, nothing like that. It fits in a little, you can put it in a cupboard, you can put it wherever you like. Or you can also find someone who has a compost and just see if you can take your waste to them. Just collect it over the week in a little container. You can even put it in the freezer. That way it's out of the way. And if you're worried about any smells, that eliminates any possibility of any smell or anything like that. So the next way to reduce your waste is exactly that, to reduce the amount of stuff you buy. I think we all just buy far too much stuff. We need to really think more about what we buy and why we're buying it. So I think that should be a key goal for us, is that anytime we buy something, just make sure it's really intentional and you're going to use what you're going to buy. And just understand why you're buying it. Don't just buy it for the sake of buying it, or to buy it to keep up with the Joneses or whoever else. The second last tip is to reuse what you can. So too often we'd rather just throw things away and buy a new one when in fact we can easily reuse things. It may just take a bit of fixing or whatever the case is, but always try to reuse where you can. This is also true when it comes to clothes. Rather pick up used stuff. Actually, it can apply to anything such as clothes, furniture, almost anything. I think it's always a good thing to try to look for second-hand things first before going to buy it brand new, because you can always pick up a good bargain, and there's plenty of things out there online that you can find that someone else has it just sitting around doing nothing. So better that you use it than it just sits somewhere and collects dust. So the last tip is to recycle. I don't think it should be a big goal, because I think if we think that we can just recycle everything, then we still continue the whole cycle and buy all the stuff. Think that we can just use it all up and then it'll just get recycled, when that's not really the case. A lot of stuff doesn't or cannot be recycled. We need to be mindful of that. And while we should try to recycle what we can, don't make it the end goal that we should just recycle everything, because most things do still end up in landfills, end up in waste. Keep that in mind. Sweet, so that about covers it. I hope those 6 simple tips were helpful and easy enough to do or implement in your life. If you have any troubles, any questions, comments, please do leave them below. I'll be happy to help. And good luck on reducing your waste. I hope we can make the change together.